Welcome to Wide Net Gaming. Today looking at ToeJam and Earl, Back in the Groove. This is a redone game. The original came out in the early 90s on the Sega-genesis. It's my first time. At the time I had a Super Nintendo, so it's my first time being introduced to the series. Today it's categorized as a roguelite game because it has various randomized elements along with procedural generation across its levels. It is an indie game and gameplay oriented, but there actually is a fun story that is presented in cutscenes each time that you start a new game. Now, ToeJam and Earl are the two main characters, and you see the two side characters in the back. But the premise is that ToeJam, the red one, he accidentally presses the black hole button in the ship, and this jumbles up the Earth where they're traveling to, along with the ship pieces across several levels. So you're starting on the first level and traveling 25 in total. The first level doesn't have any ship pieces, and the 25th level does, and then the rest are kind of random. But it's kind of in the vein and the spirit of games of this time in the early 90s, where they kind of had this creative made-up story to have an excuse for these gameplay mechanics. Kind of reminds me of Earthworm Jim in a way, where you have that story quirkiness, but still it's gameplay focused. You die, that's it. You start over all the way from the beginning. Other than that, you have 3 lives. So if you're familiar with games like Spelunky, Binding of Isaac, it's kind of like that. Other than that, the only objective is to collect the 10 ship pieces across 25 levels that get progressively harder as you go along. The other thing is just finding the elevator. That's how you go from one level to the next. So you're looking for those two things, and it tells you if there is a ship piece on the map. In the top you see a little ship that tells you. In the beginning you choose a character. They have different stats, speed, life bar, search skill, and you pick one based on your play style that way. These also improve over time because you have different mini games, like the dance off thing here, where you have a button press timing, and then you see the wise man, which is a guy in a carrot, and if you have leveled up, then you get randomized stats boosted. Other than that, the other main randomized part that you are involved in gameplay-wise is the presents. Now, these are collected by searching in bushes, searching in trees. A lot of them just have a question mark, so you got to figure out what works, what doesn't. Here, it didn't work for me, and that's how where the game kind of revolves around. Surprisingly, for being an indie game, there is quite a bit here, and it's online. It's not limited to local play. You can also save your game, and you notice here I only have one character highlighted. This is a game that I had saved online that I am actually re-entering. It's not my game, it's somebody else's. But you're able to do that, and it limits you to that character. Now, you see how the screen's split up. It has split screen, multi-split screen. You can turn this on and off, and various online. You can start a game, someone can join it, and it's 1 to 4 players. Now, it worked fairly well. Most that were online were probably 2 or 3 people, and it did have some connecting issues, but pretty good considering. Pretty self-explanatory. It's going for that 90s theme. It kind of has like this funk rap vibe to it, like you see with the characters too. Some are kind of throwbacks and some have recent, like the person texting and running after you. I do recommend the game, but it is definitely not for most people, and you gotta really know a decent amount before going into it. Like, it's a roguelite, but it's very slow paced, whereas with the normal one like Spelunky, Binding of Isaac, you start over, the whole overall game isn't that long, moves pretty quickly. This one's much slower. You're walking around, as you can see, searching everything, but everything is explained very well, like the characters, the items, and what they do, as much as you want to search, or if you just rather go through the game and find out on your own. How it functions as a roguelite well, though, is it's revolved around the randomization and the presence, making choices strategically based on risk reward and presence you have, whether you can use them now, use them later. Like you saw the one where I started the game and I just killed myself basically. So like that's the fun. Once you understand how that works, then the game can really be a lot of fun, especially with 4 people.
Oh my gosh! Sorry.
Thank you for watching. Like, dislike, subscribe, and I will see you next time.